Have you ever wanted to swing around buildings like Spider-Man but don't have $80 to spend on the full game? Well, I have something better. And the best part? It's free. Grapples Galore can be easily described as Spider-Man, but with guns. With around 250 players per day and a peak of nearly 700, Grapples Galore is probably one of the best games you've never played. Well, at least I hope you haven't, because then this video was pointless. Unless you enjoy a full-length yap session where I break down the game, list some pros and cons, and give you a full, proper review of it. With that out of the way, let me show you what this game is all about. Grapples Galore is a simple third-person shooter game developed by Zotling, a solo developer who released the game on November 9th, 2023. Amassing a very positive rating with over 3,000 reviews in nearly a year, Grapples Galore is one of those free games on Steam that can easily be described as a hidden gem. With over 100,000 games that are currently listed on Steam, you have to make something truly amazing to stand out from the competition, with that competition being large AAA studios with a multi-million-dollar budget and a huge development team. Upon launching the game, we are immediately offered a very simple menu where you can host a game, join a game, go into the options, and a mini tutorial to help you get started. There are some supporter packs as well that offer some more customization, and it helps support the developer. Launching into my first match, it took a little bit of time to get used to the mechanics, but it didn't take long before I got my first kill. The game offers 8 different weapons, each offering different amounts of damage. The RPG is pretty much an insta-kill, the railgun ranges from 150 to 160, the machete does around 100, the shotgun can do up to 110, the crossbow does 70 to 75, the pistol does 50 to 55, and the other weapons having less damage but a higher fire rate and more ammo like the burst rifle and the minigun. The game offers 7 maps currently: Suburb, City, Train, Factory, Islands, Skyscraper, and Feast. Suburb offers a couple tall buildings and a lot of open space and some flat areas to swing around in. City is mainly tall apartment buildings with a crane to swing off of to gain some distance when needed. Train is, well, a train. Factory is more of a close quarter map with not a lot of space to move around in and most of it being fairly open. You can expect a lot of close range engagements in this map. Islands is a wide open map with several tiny islands for you to swing around in. This one is great to practice your swinging and figure out how far you can grapple onto an island. Skyscraper is just one tall building with a crane near the bottom, forcing players into either extremely close range fights or shooting each other in the air. Feast is a giant dinner table with different foods, plates, etc. for you to swing around on, but still having a wide flat surface to land on. Each map allows players to experiment with their playstyles, whether you prefer being close range and on the ground, or swinging through the air sniping people with crossbows and railguns. My favorite map by far has to be the City map, with 3 main buildings to swing around in, and a crane to help you get some speed and distance. It's a great all-round map for every playstyle. There's also a workshop that allows players to create maps for other people to explore and mess around in, like this GM Construct map and the Tower. I bet you can't guess what comments are on this one, Yeah, it's what you expect. I was playing for about 30 minutes before I really started getting into it, hitting clip after clip and pissing some people off in the process. I also learned that you can utilize both your left and right mouse button to increase your speed and go flying across the map, which some other people took note of and started doing the same thing in my lobbies. I'm already having a blast playing this. Since most lobbies were full or close to full, it was nice being able to have a different set of players in whatever lobby you decide to join. If you have some friends and are looking for a silly game to play, definitely try this one out. However, no game is without its flaws. This next section is going to be a simple list of pros and cons, listing what's good and what could be improved within the game. The pros. This one is pretty obvious, but it's free. There are so many other games that are lacking in quality and are overall just not a good game that can cost up to about $80 or even $100. But this game is completely free and is a really fun game in general. The maps are all different and enjoyable, giving players different methods of play, but still allowing them to take lower or higher ground when needed. The game also offers a workshop where you can create and publish your own maps and play with the ones that other people have created. The game is really easy to get into and doesn't take long before you start getting clips like these. The controls are simple and don't require you to use 13 different keybinds to play, just WASD, F, and your mouse. There's a decent selection of free cosmetics and fairly cheap paid ones to give you quite a bit of extra hats, clothing items, and more. The cons. If you get into a game and the person who started the lobby leaves, it kicks the entire lobby out of the game instead of switching the hosts, which isn't that big of an issue, but I ran into lobbies where I would eliminate the lobby host and then they would just leave, kicking out everyone else in the process. The weapon spawns can be lacking sometimes, leaving you to swing around the map for like 30 seconds before you can find a weapon spawn that someone isn't already waiting at. The weapon spawns also work on a swap mechanic, meaning if you pick up a gun with full ammo, you can just go to another weapon spawn and pick up a different one without shooting once, sometimes leaving players with absolutely no weapons since they take around 20 to 30 seconds to spawn anyways. There is a small amount of motion blur / camera shake that can make it hard to focus on an enemy from far away, but this one is kind of a stretch to be honest. So, more pros and cons must mean the game is good, right? But if you still aren't sold on the game, take a look at some of these clips and let me know what you think.
Joga de baixo pra cima, empurra a buceta de frente. Joga de baixo pra cima, empurra a buceta de frente pra trás. Vai, vai, vai. Joga de
Did that convince you? I hope it did, because this game is one that I highly suggest you try out. And who knows, you might just see me in one of your games. But what's my final review? Well, Grapples Galore is truly a hidden gem within the Steam store. With different weapons, maps, and a workshop to unleash your creativity, this game is truly amazing. I had a blast being able to play this game and get into nearly full lobbies every time I join one. If you're looking for a silly game to play with your friends, I highly advise you try this one out. This game is definitely worth spending some time on and is one that I want to keep playing in the future. 10 out of 10. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. It's a free way to help me out and I appreciate it as always. If you have any feedback or games you want me to take a look at, let me know down in the comments below. I've been Miko. Catch you next time.